10, 15 years ago, science discovered a hole in the ozone over Antarctica. It was causing blindness in the sheep in the Falkland Islands and the alpacas in Bolivia. So we changed, it was being caused by a refrigerant, Freon. So we changed that, very, very expensive. And now I haven't heard of that. Did we cure that?
Yeah, you know what we cured it, because there's a natural cycle. The ozone comes and it goes. And when it came back again, they said, hey, see, we cured it. And now the ozone opens up again, and nobody sense anything, okay? Because you're right, we're not using the bad CFCs anymore. So once again, the ozone layer is just another one of these natural cycles that happen. We don't know why it happens, but it happens, and it has probably little to do with what we do here on Earth. And what's the natural cycle? It opens and it closes. It opens and it closes. We don't hear about it anymore.
Last night in the news, CBS reported that in Bangladesh, ocean levels have risen so much that they're flooding farmland that was used. And I'm just curious how the ocean can be higher there and not here.
Well, I don't know about Bangladesh, but usually what they use is the island of the Maldives, okay? The island of the Maldives is out in the Indian Ocean. It's the lowest point on Earth, okay? It's the lowest landmass. The average elevation of the Maldives Island is like 10 centimeters. I mean, literally, it's sitting right on the ocean. And what's happening is people are pumping fresh water out of the island to use it, and the island is sinking. The Earth, the sea level is not rising, but the damn island is sinking. And so it's flooding, right? And they're blaming it on global warming. And it's not, it's just, you got a very low island. It's very low to sea level, and it's sinking. And so, CBS News gets a hold of it, and Reuters gets a hold of it, and Katie Couric gets a hold of it, and next thing you know, it's all global warming's fault, right?
Would it be a beneficial initiative for Virginia to challenge some of the curriculums? I know in high school they learn about global warming. If there's any doubt, is there any way for a group like yours to either come up with a continuing education program that you can...
Are there any school teachers here today? Anybody teach elementary school or high school? No, that's a great idea. Matter of fact, I've been taking on the Science Museum of Virginia, because they're putting up a kiosk which is telling basically fourth graders and anybody that wants to look at it that the Earth is going to burn up in a drought because of global warming. There's absolutely no evidence at all. And the director of the Science Museum won't talk to me, so we're just publishing open letters. We're going to send these letters to the board of directors of the Science Museum and see what they say. And so this is how we're going to fight it that way. I don't know if we can get into schools. Do they let us? Do you think that they would let me go into a high school auditorium full of sixth graders or high school students and give a presentation like this? Do you think the principal would let me?
No, but I mean, you could probably encourage parents to challenge.
I was going to say, if you've got parents to request
Or even there's teachers that aren't
I agree.
totally...
And those teachers, if they come out and they try to teach your students this, you're in trouble. So it's a big problem, and I don't know how we break the law. And I think that we should not try because it's too hard. But I think we really have to get to the young people, because they're the ones that are coming out believing all of this, and it's important to get to them early, because they're being brainwashed. We need to hear the whole story. Well,
hi. I'm a VCU honors student, and we're required to attend 3 burden seminars every semester. And some of the seminars are kind of this is probably too late to ever be considered to be one this semester, but some of them are like this, where they're sponsored by other organizations, and some are just, they ask you to come and talk about their research. And I attended one this semester that was on everything you talked against today. But that might be a reasonable battle to be able to get, because it's only one person that approves the burden seminars.
Yeah, I would certainly be willing to try that, and I'll tell you, when I tried to get my own group of scientists and engineers for energy and environment, I wanted to recruit people for our group, for our Richmond group. And so what I did is we have this huge listserv here at VCU, right? It's just gigantic. It goes out to all the faculty, all the staff. It's huge. And I called the person up and I said, and I made a little announcement, for basically letting people know that this was my group, and if you're interested, this is my email. They wouldn't let me. They said, well, you know, this is a non-VCU organization, we're not going to let you gain access to the VCU servers. I said, I'm a faculty member here, why can't I, you know? And they said, well, no, but it's just, you know, they gave me this runaround, and they clearly, you know, I think they might have read into what I was doing, and I thought if it was worded the other way around, they would let me gain access to their servers. Because, you know, I said, well, what about the heart march? There was, somebody was having a march for heart health or something like that. It was not a VCU affiliated event, but they were letting that organization broadcast on the VCU service and went out to everybody. Everybody got an email. They said, what about that? They're not affiliated with VCU. So they pick if they like what you're doing, then let you gain access to the VCU servers and get your message out. If you don't, you know. So, but I agree. Maybe we should pursue that.
I think if you went up to the woman who's
Carrie Connolly.
or just you talked to him and you said that you're a VC faculty member and you wanted to talk about global warming, I think she loved that.
Well, that's good. No, and what we want to do is we want to have myself and when we have this other professor that had a contrary view, we can have stand side to side and we can have a nice, good, formal scientific debate in front of the students. Right? This is the better way to do it. I don't want to brainwash anybody. I want to tell people the facts, and I want to draw conclusions and the best way that I can. Let the opponent do the same thing, and let the audience decide. Right? This is the best way. You know, we don't want to browbeat anybody. We want to present you with the facts and let you decide. So yeah, that would be the best way to do it. So we need to explore more of that.
I have two questions. The case you made suggests essentially that it's a huge hoax for climate change, and to accept that, you have to believe that most of the governments in the world are involved in the hoax, most of the news media is involved in the hoax, most of the education establishments are involved in the hoax. If that's true, what's the end goal? And then the second question is, if that's true, and we have all of these forces aligned on the other side, how do you ever kind of run them?
Well, I think that there are two groups of people that are what are called wormistas. Worm people. And I think there are people that truly believe that there is global warming that's bad for the earth and that it's going to cause trouble in their lifetime. They believe it because they're inundated with the information. I believe people higher up the food chain, and when I mean food chain, I mean political food chain. I mean people in governments throughout the world. I believe that they have an alternative motive, and I think that this is just a vehicle to get there. I believe that they want to confiscate resources. They want to confiscate resources from the wealthy people in the West and distribute them back to not so wealthy people in other parts of the world. This is one way to do it. You can create a boogeyman called global warming. You can blame it on carbon emissions. You can blame it on energy. You can say, no, we're going to tax you for your greenhouse gas emissions. We're going to unplug the United States, if you will. And furthermore, we're going to make you pay reparations, right? This is what this new governmental regulation is all about. New world governance. They want the United States and Europe and rich countries basically to pay reparations to poor countries because of our greenhouse gas emissions. Is that just a redistribution of wealth? Does that solve the problem? Does cap and trade solve the problem? When we cap, we haven't gone into the numbers, but when you allow people to still emit CO2, and then just charge them money for that, how does that prevent CO2 from being released? Okay? And Sir Christopher Monckton, I don't know if you know him, he was the science advisor to Margaret Thatcher. He's run the numbers on CO2 mitigation, the cost of it, based on this Markey legislation. And he calculated that it would cost $213 trillion and it would be 1,200 years to mitigate the CO2 that we're now releasing. So does that sound? And the numbers are correct. You know, we've gone through the numbers and his calculations are correct. That's absurd. The people that are come across with this legislation, do they not know that? Of course they know that. So why are they pushing the legislation? I didn't conclude that they have an ulterior motive. And I don't know what it is. I can't get into their minds. But it certainly doesn't seem to be a global warming.